So there's a new Warhammer Quest game out. Hello, Elfie. What's that? It's been out for ages. Huh. It's on its second release, which has also been out for ages. Well, why didn't no one tell me this? And where have you been? Hello, welcome to the Battle in Barrow. My name's Kev, and this is the return of Alfie the Dragon, or Alf. Yeah, he's been gone a while, but he's back. Still don't know where he's been. But yeah, as we said, there is a new Warhammer Quest out, and it's been out for a while, but I have not looked into it. Mainly because at first I thought it was going to be a full release that will be available at any time, but then it turned out to be a limited release, and I don't do limited releases. I want to get a game at any time. I just want to be able to go and buy it. I don't like this FOMO, so I just turn my back on it. Even though it is Warhammer Quest, and I genuinely like the Warhammer Quest games, I turn my back on it. But then it's got re-released, and I was considering it, but it's a bit too much of an expense. But for Christmas, my wife kindly bought it for me, so I thought this year we'd do a series of videos where we sort of look into the game. The first one being this one, where we're just going to have a look at what's in the box, what you get for your money, and then after that we'll do a series of videos. A lot of them will be down to you guys what you want to see. Do you want to see me assemble and paint the models, a video about that, or are you not interested in that? Let me know in the comments about that, how this series goes. But ultimately what I want to do is have a series of Let's Plays on the channel of the game being played with fully painted models right to the end. That is the goal for this series. But for now we are just going to have a look in the box. And this is what the box looks like. It has this sort of lovely red sepia, I don't know how to describe it, but black and white and red artwork on, having our heroes on the front, kind of reminiscent of the original Warhammer Quest box, with the heroes at the front and the villains in the background, and also something that Silver Tower tried as well. I think Shadows did it as well, but Silver Tower did it the best. But as this is really nice, it's very stylistic, kind of comic book, graphic novel style art. Do I like it? It's alright. I'm not really a fan of this plain white thing. So even here, the Warhammer Quest is just plain white and black. It's like modern video games do with the heads-up display. Everything's just white font on the screen, which is boring. Whereas you compare this to the old logo from the original, and even the ones over Silver Tower and that, they're just more, they're more in keeping. This is just very blah to me. So that's the first thing. But the box itself, I have to, as I said with the art, it's trying to invoke that original Warhammer Quest game. And the back, I turn it over, technically it's a really heavy box as well, does the same. The others probably did as well, but this is one to me that really captures the original 95's sort of look and feel of just, you look at this and you go and look at this and go, wow, I am getting a lot of stuff in this box. The other two, Silver Tower and Shadows, and I'm not including Black Fortress. I didn't really actually see that as a Warhammer Quest game, mainly because that's a whole different video. Let's not go down that path. But yeah, so I'm just including those, the fantasy based ones. They seem to be one box split into two for me, compared to the 95 one that had the actual game, the roleplay, the solo, and the companion, the game master, sort of all in one. That seemed to split it out. Now I know this follows more the suit of Silver Tower, where you are against AI driven enemies. I'm fine with that. So it's cooperative. There is no game master or role-playing game aspect in this, although that would make for a nifty expansion. So yeah, you can see even this contents of the box there is loads here. It's got the coloured painted models around the side and showing you everything in here. So that is really invoking the old school version that had the same. If we lift up the box, we get the lid, and the lid is just plain black inside with scuff marks due to this plastic, which we'll take a look at in a minute. But again, like the original, on the inlet of the box here you have pictures of the painted models, and I have just emptied the plastic, so get rid of that here for now. Let's try and show you how to start with my cat. Very difficult to see, but yeah. Now the plastic for me for this part of the video is the least important bit, least interesting bit, because it is just stuff on sprues, but just we'll go over it. As I said in the intro, if you want to see another video where I go over the models in more detail, perhaps to have them showing them assembled and quick sort of overview of what I'm going to do painting, we can do that. But I think this is going to be the big bad, which is, I forget his name, but something the wolf. So we got him here, and there is a wolf there because he wears a wolf skin. So that's the big bad vampire, I believe. I've not actually looked at these too much myself. I'd imagine these are the heroes in white here. So there is a big ogre in there, and I imagine that's what this sprue is. Yeah, that looks ogre-y, doesn't it? Hello, I'm an ogre. Yeah, and maybe bits of something else. There's a weird spear gun contraption here, probably dwarfy. I don't know. So yeah, there's that. And this must be the other one. I can see a flintlock here for the witch hunter guy, which I'm really looking forward to assembling. But yeah, these sprues nowadays, they're so delicate, so fine. Lots of spiky, wispy bits, such as this here. I'm not really, I have to admit, I sound like a old man shouts at clouds kind of thing, but I'm not really a fan of these models. I prefer the old school chunky style of models. If I quickly get my hand on a ghoul, you know, big chunky model, I like those. These wispier ones from Age of Sigmar, yeah, we'll see. Let's see in the next video that I might do, may not do, of the models being assembled, whether my mind is changed while I assemble them. They look quite good in the pictures. So this is all the warriors and monsters. So what we got here, we've got some skeletons, scallywags here, some bat things. These look cool. Bat things, rat things. I'd imagine there's going to be zombies in here. I think that's what they are. Skeletons. So big long, I think there's trying to see, right, so this and this sprue are the same. So you got two of these. So these are going to be your base warriors. Still a lot of plastic. And the final one is going to be for big one-offs. So you've got these big zombie ogres, and I'm calling them ogres because they're not. I hate Age of Sigmar and it's renaming stuff for IP purposes. They're ogres, so I'm calling them ogres. Big vampire monster thing. These things are great, interest me. So you've got some vampires here. But somewhere, I'm sure there is meant to be hanging things. Have I missed these? Map markers? Am I missing something here? Have I just completely overlooked it? I thought there's going to be skeletons in gibbets and things. Am I missing a sprue? Let me know in the comments if I am. Probably won't find out till the next video. Oh no, it was sealed when I got it. Oh no, there they are. That's it. That's what I actually want to show off. You get things like this in there as well, which I actually really do like, and I'll probably use these in other, just in general games. Just a gibbet with a skeleton. There we go. So there is a lot of plastic here, so that's cool. That's cool. Even things like this with the column with a raven on top, holding a key. Yeah, that's going to be good. So yeah, a lot of plastic. That'll keep me occupied. What I'm more interested in for the purpose of this first video is this bit here. No, not this black thing. This is just an inlay protecting what's underneath. It does flip over and you get this sort of stylized art of the city, I guess. I can lose that. Bases, bases, and more bases. Some dice, some cards, some board pieces. They're what I'm really interested in. And some paperwork. First up, the rulebook. I have read through this already, and it's very similar to Silver Tower, as one would expect. A few new additions, a few changes, but for the most part, very similar. It is full colour. as one would expect from Games Workshop. Staple bound with flimsy front cover. Standard for this kind of game. Staple bound's probably the worst binding you can do for a rule book, but quite standard for a board game, so I'm not going to be overly harsh and critical about that. It has the components, which is great, always useful to have, and things like in here, pictures of the models to get you excited on how they will look. And yes, there's the guys I was talking about, the skeletons and gibbets and the keys. And we have some gravestones, scallywags, bat swarms, and rats and zombies. They're called zombies. Ugh, they're just zombies. Stop adding the extra words into it. This I don't understand. You have corpse traps here, and then blood rat, bat swarms, and diabat. That caused some confusion when I was reading through stuff, because sometimes you refer to it as this and other times as this. And I thought there's two different things, but it's not. It's just that. And then we have the particularly for the rules, it goes over, which I quite like this, little combat tutorials in 1, 2, 3. So it goes over moving, attacking, hostiles, recuperating, and lightning assault. I actually really like that. So before we get into the rules, it just goes over a few scenarios as examples. Really like that. And then we go through the rules in order to sort of get setting up, getting ready to play. And then the rules themselves, going through it, taking it turn by turn as it were, and then different phases and steps within that phase. Really clear, concise rules. So yeah, it's quite a good rule book. And then a bit of sort of big glossaries about alignments and things. Prices on the back of the rules. Once we get to it, there is a reference sheet. Reference sheet 1, should we say. Next up is the quest book. On the back of this, just so we get there, is reference sheet 2. So if you could probably scan this out or photocopy it if you've got that onto a single sheet of card, which is what I'll probably do for ease of reference. So here is the quest book. Now it starts off with this nice bit of in-house lore, in-game lore, in-world lore, handout-y type thing. Cool. And then yeah, the background about, kind of, I guess, the background of Age of Sigmar here, a little blurb bit here. Then going on about the city here, how it was once a proud city, got invaded, got duffed up by the forces of chaos, and out of the sea comes sailing a vampire who made a deal with them to save them. I forget his name. I want to call him Radu, but I don't think his name is Radu, is it? It's Radukar, so I was almost right. Yes, Radukar comes and saves them, but there is a price to pay. He slowly but surely takes over the city. At first, they were being led. The vampires in control of them, but it seems to be okay, and it gets worse and worse and worse until now it's a cursed city, and this is where you come in. You're sort of trapped there in a skyboat, sort of mismatched band of heroes, villains, and what have you, just there by happenstance. Some by happenstance, some by chance, by plan. And anyway, you must put aside your differences, work together to free the city for your own goals and for the goals of whatever. Then we go over the background of the different players in it. So going over the evil first, then we talk about the different heroes and bits and pieces here. Warriors. Sorry if my voice sounds funny. I've got a cold as I'm recording this, so I should have said that at the beginning. You probably guessed already. So sometimes I sound like I'm really grumpy. When I'm talking about, especially if I'm talking about a negative point, it sounds like I'm really, really negative. I'm not. Just got a cold, and my throat's really breaking at the moment. Anyway, let's try and crack on. Here is a bit getting your head around the layout of the city itself, where different factions live and reside. And we're on to the good guys. I say good guys like that because some of them are good, but some of them are anti-heroes. Some, like this guy here is a sort of a kind of a necromancer, but not. It's the only way I can describe it from reading him. So yeah, and you also have a ogre who eats corpses. So yeah, it's cool. Then we have the actual quests themselves. Now there are different quest types. They call them journeys. We have hunt journeys, where the maps are predetermined, and you sort of pick one at random, roll in on this table here, and so forth. And then you'd have similarly is scavenge journeys, again rolled on this table here for your predetermined layout. Again, I like these little bits of lore here in keeping, little letters and so forth to bring the world to life, which is, if you remember when I tried to do Age of Sigmar on the channel, something I always complained about. It just didn't feel like a living world. It just felt like heroes and gods fighting out, and you know, something called the mortal realms. You know, it didn't really cater for the mortals. Deliverance journeys are slightly different. These are like 95 Warhammer Quest, where you have a deck of cards defining the dungeon for you. So that's what that is. Looking forward to playing Deliverance journeys. Decapitation journeys, these are the sort of main quests here. These are what make up the story, the narrative, but you can only do them when you reach certain levels, so you have to do these first. A bit of grinding, as it were, before you can do these quests here. These are the big rewards. These are broken up into two parts. The first part, you'd be doing a sort of Deliverance journey-esque thing, with a random dungeon till you find the lair, and then you'll be doing a preset map, pretty much like the other adventures. That's cool. We have the crises section. Crisis. This is like Silver Tower, and I love that about Silver Tower, these random events, and there's a big sort of long list in the hundreds where you roll up, a thing happens, and you roll a dice and you see what happens, and you have to resolve that thing. I like that, and it's good to see that back. That was sort of gone from Hammerhell, and I sort of missed that, and I kind of like this in the original one. I kind of would try and retroactively do something like this for the original one as a house rule, maybe. Anyway, yeah, so here we have the layouts for the actual decapitation journey. So this would be the first one, second one, third one. I'm not dwelling too much on this because I don't want to spoil it for myself. And the final assault, and that's that. So yeah, I'd rather look at those when we come to play it later on in the year. We have this is an envelope, and it says, Ulfenkarn in Peril envelope. Do not open until the final assault decapitation journey has been completed. So that is our goal for this series of videos, to play through the game and open this envelope on the channel. Some people who have already played this will know what's in here. I do not, so do not spoil it for me. And if you haven't played it, you might be intrigued to see what this is all about. It's fairly thick. Feels like there's some sort of card in there, something in there. So it'd be interesting to see what's in there. Next, we have this. This is the instructions. The instructions showing you how to put the models together. And it's great. It has a base size reference. So if you've never played before, this is great. You can put your bases on here. These are to scale, 1-to-1 scale. Even though it tells you what bases are here, these aren't scale. So you could put them against here and go, okay, that's what they mean by a 25mm base. Brilliant idea. Has pictures of the sprues here, and they are clearly labelled A, B, C and D, and tells you that with D you have 2. Really clear. So on here, on the instructions, it will say A40 and A41. That will go together. So these instructions, fantastic. They are in some sort of colour here, which is handy, so it's really clear what part they are referring to, like so. Really good, clear instructions. Games Workshop aren't good at instructions, I find. Look at that, he looks like an undead Santa. Yeah, that's by the way, that's Radikar. When I was talking about, he had a wolf's thing on there, so he's pretty cool. I like him. It's just the instructions. Next up, something I probably won't use, and that's this, the War Scrolls. Now, I'll say I did start playing, try and get Age of Sigmar onto the channel. No one seemed to be interested in it. I like the rules, I love the rules. I just hated the setting, and I feel this is I feel the same about this game. Same with Silver Tower. I loved the rules, I loved how it played. I hated the setting, I hated the look of Silver Tower, to be honest. Whereas hoping with this, I actually quite like the way the models look in pictures, even though I said they're a bit modern, but I generally like them. They're a bit, you know, just general fantasy, which I kind of like. So yeah, these are war scrolls. So if you wanted to use these characters and these models in a game of Age of Sigmar, you could use this as a sort of mini poster of the thing there. So that's what that is. So this probably won't see much use, but still I appreciate that they did things like this anyway. Very useful if you are into playing Age of Sigmar. We have the dice. Let's have a look at the dice next. So we have some standard dice and some custom dice. Let's put aside the custom dice for now. The standard dice are 5 black for the Destiny dice. If you know anything about the modern age of Warhammer Quest, you know you roll these. Discard any doubles, which I don't have any. That's actually a really good roll. So that means I would be able to keep all my Destiny dice for that roll. And they are available to players within the game. Now we have the players activation dice. Now it's up to 4 players, so you have 4 sets of 4. In Silver Tower, each of these there was 4 sets of 4, but they were all different colours. So one player would have purple, green, blue, black, what have you. These ones cost cutting, I guess, even though it's more expensive to buy. Just plain white. So I would ditch these straight away. These would go in the bin and get a decent set of D6s. So put those back in the bag, and probably same with the activation dice, get a better set of dice for activation dice. Custom dice, what do we have? We have a, well, custom's D12 here. It's a really cheap and nasty looking D12. Printing in that is just horrible. Don't like it. I don't know if it's meant to be like that or what have you, or if it just looks cheap and nasty. I'd probably ditch that and use one of my many D12s I've collected over the years. But onto the custom dice. So a different custom dice that you roll for attacking and defending. There is a 6-sided custom dice, an 8-sided custom dice, and a 12-sided custom dice. And what these have on, these have blanks, successes, and critical successes. Now on the 6 there is only 1 of each, so 1 success or 1 critical success. The rest are blanks, meaning it's going to be harder to hit something with. As you can see, if I was rolling 2 of these, the first one I would have done nothing, second I would have got a critical, and that time I would have got a critical. The 8-sided has something similar. It has a success, critical success, and another critical success, and another success. Double the chances, and only 4 chances of missing. So it's a 50-50 dice. You're going to hit something compared to less than this. Now 12, again, similar concept. You know, you can already see here there is 2 criticals there and 3 successes. You can see there. And likewise more criticals and more successes. So there's a lot of criticals on this, not a lot of blanks. So with these, you're going to do more damage. So yeah, these dice seem really nice. These, not so. I don't understand that, why the normal dice, which you'd expect they would have mastered by now, are horrible. Custom dice are really good. We have the cards. Okay, we have these, I believe, are the initiative cards. I think I want to say these ones are, and these are, I forget, cards. Brilliant, off to a good start there. Anyway, there's some cards. So I think these are initiative or something for the heroes. 4 cards for the heroes. These, I don't know what these are. They have the same backing on that backing. Very good artwork. These might be some sort of alignment cards. We have probably sort of event-y type cards. So these are discovery cards for treasure. There's no artwork on the inside, just words and what the treasure is. That's fair enough, don't mind that. Yes, these are event cards. And we have traps and a crises with some Elmstone card here. Various different values. I believe during the game you take these and you remove some, keep some, and shuffle the rest into the discovery deck, I guess. What do we have here? Traits, Lawmaster, Blade, Executioner. Okay, so the traits are for like Blade is the class, if you like. You can be a Blade, a Lawmaster, Executioner, and a Steward. So these are going to give you different level up thingy-majiggies. So that is what they do. See here they're double-sided. Open these in a minute. Let's open them now. So what do we have here? We have empowerment. And these are going to make your weapons and armor better. And they have that on the back. So again, no art in there, just words. Don't need art in cards. Sometimes it helps to make it aesthetically look nice, but for the most part you don't need it. So we have, just separate them out. So we have these cards, these set of cards with the swords on the back, encounter cards. So you pull these up, and if you're level 0 and you pull this encounter up, you are facing 3 bat swarms. Level 1, quite similar. Level 2, with this you're facing bat swarms on different amounts, different levels. That's what these are: corpse rats, zombies and things. And so you can see as you go up in level, you're going to face more and more dangerous creatures. You have some skull cards. I forget what these are for. We have these. I'll reread the instruction. There's the rules before we play, of course. And then we have these with the lovely raven on the back. These are your dungeon cards. So these are what you're going to build to build your random dungeon. Yay. Yeah. Okay. On to these cards here. I have a track thing here. This is like the fear and influence card, so this will go up and down depending on what's what, and I think this keeps track of who you've mullered, who you've killed. Does that. Then we have our cards. This is already great. So these are our player cards. You may remember these from Silver Tower and things I've covered. They are double-sided for when you're normal, and I think this is when you're boosted up, when you're powered up. As you can see, the defense for this being boosted is the good one, and here it's the bad one, as it were. So yeah, this is like leveling up. So emboldened, I think they call it, something like that. So here's normal, here's emboldened. So you get one of those for each of your heroes: Captain Imelda Bazgoff, Jensen Darrock, Qualifis the Exile, Brutog Corpse Eater, Galerio von Alton III, Dagny Holdenstock, Cleona Zutengel, Octron Grimsgrave. So that's our heroes. And this is brilliant, because one of my complaints about Silver Tower was the monster reference cards were in a book, so you kept on having to pick that book up, and I hated that. So I found some online that I printed out that were reference cards like this when I played, but we've got them here. And likewise, these can become normal and then become stronger, because at night the undead become stronger, and that's a new rule I like in this, which is this here, which we'll cover in a minute. This is a time track, and when it gets to night time, boom, things get harder. These are all the monsters in here. So we have Ulfenwatch, which are Skeleton Guard, bat swarms, corpse rats. We will be facing off against zombies. Vikos Bloodborne, which I guess are, I think these are crazy vampires. Koshagi Night Guard, zombie ogres. Varg Sky, which is vampire monsters. Watch Captain Halgrim, which is just their boss. Torgilius the Chamberlain, I think he's a necromancer, so he's a living thing. Gorslav the Gravekeeper, don't know what he is, but he's quite cool in his lore. Sort of puts people, buries people. He is a gravekeeper, as a graveyard keeper. Radikar the Wolf, who is the big bad. Next up, the bit I'm excited for are the tiles, but yes, I was expecting this. Bags. This thing Games Workshop's really cool at. Bags for tokens, bags for cards, bags. Really happy to see that. So now we've got this, so I'm just going to open this like so. First thing we have is the night track and a load of tokens, wound tokens and county tokens and these tokens and those tokens, some sort of other token, a track here. I think this is the initiative track, so combat order goes in here, which is cool, like that. They are of course double-sided, so that's just handy. They could have scrimped out and only made them single-sided. They made them double-sided, and the wound tokens are double-sided with different values on each side. Next up we have the actual dungeon tiles with tokens. So if I pop one out here, this is what the tile will look like. Much more sort of straightforward than Silver Tower, which was to me a bit busy. This looks good. Double-sided with different tiles on each side, because you are meant to be building up a city here. So let's have a look at each tile quickly in order. This is what I love. Stairs leading up to that. You have that. Pop them out. Let's pop them out. Sort of tiles out like one. Yes, we have that. So it's meant to be a city, but sometimes it looks like you're going inside. So I don't know if the back looks like. Maybe not on that one. Maybe, who knows. Back looks like you're inside. This looks like you're outside. It seems to be similar with this. Maybe, if that's how they're doing it. Let's have a look. I don't know, I'm lost now. That looks like you're inside in some sort of crypt. That looks like you're inside as well. I don't know. So that theory's right out the window. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool artwork on them. This is the start token or exit token, something like that. I think that's the extraction point. Again, there's a start and an end token. I think that's what these are. As you can see, it's pretty cool. I want to say it's probably not. It always looks hand drawn. Let's see if there's any repetition on this, any cut and pasting, which it doesn't look like there is. It might be hand drawn on a computer, as it were. Pop them all out and have a look at each individual one. I don't know why I'm more excited about these tiles than the models. I just am. Have that on there with going over a precipice with boards on. There's a distinct blue and sort of brown side. You have that with I'm getting really excited about this. Probably have to speed up, so I think there's loads of tiles. And this video's probably gone on for about 4 days already, and my throat's giving out, so let's quickly and blast through a bit. Some right angles. This is really sort of bringing me. I'm actually happy, really pleased I got this. This is sort of bringing back that same sort of feelings when I got Hero Quest and that as a kid. There's something Silver Tower Hammerheld didn't give me. It didn't give me that same sort of vibe as this really is. Like, I can't wait to get this on the table and get playing it. Skull Pit, because Warhammer. More coffins. There's a lot of coffins and blood in this, as one would expect by a city that's being overrun by vampires and undead. I need to liberate it, the city. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is cool. These are cool tiles. These are cool tiles. Genuinely like these. Sort of kitchen storeroom area, and this guy looking up. Yeah, I was never really. I couldn't ever make out what the Silver Tower tiles were. They were just so busy. And one to the last one. So we have this big room here. Ooh, boss chamber. All through this, there's been. I think these are doors. Okay, yeah. Let's have a quick look at these. So these are doors. I believe that's what they're representing. So I think that's going to be open door, closed door. So that's clearly a barrier. So yeah, these pop out. So I won't do that now because there'll be loads of them. We have this one here. Ooh, Silver Tower-esque, but at least I can make out what it's meant to be. So yeah. Yeah, but this one. Little crypt. And we have this one. So room. Yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, these tiles are really exciting. I love them. Okay, I think that's it for this video. It's just a brief overview of what you get in the box, and you know, I've dumped it around as I'm recording. There is a lot here. It's an expensive game, but you get a lot for your money, I feel. Some things they've listened to, sort of complaints about, such as these. Other things, the dice. But I prefer to have these than coloured dice, because I can just use the coloured dice from other games. These are easy to replace. These are a bit of a pain to replace. Yes, overall looks good. Right. So let me know if you'd like to see a video of the models being constructed. It won't be like constructing all of them. It'll just be a sort of an overview of putting a few together, painting a few, yada yada yada, and me building them up. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But for now, until the next video of whatever it will be on this, stay safe, take care, and bye bye.